In this video, I'm going to be breaking down exactly how I was able to scale 5 coaching offers to 6 figures, 3 coaching offers to 7 figures, and my own service-based business helping coaching offers scale to $35,000 per month. And, to be completely honest with you, there really are only a few things. And, just being behind these guys, like I've seen it all. Like the Italian guys, they're saying, I'm not printing because I'm not in the US market. And the guys who are in the US market are saying, I'm not printing because I have too much competition. And the guys who are in kind of like the low-key niches, they kind of have no competition. They're saying, I'm not printing because my offer isn't validated, and etc., etc., etc. It goes on and on and on. And just to be completely honest with you, like the grass is always going to be greener on the other side. And 99% of the time, the reason you're not able to print isn't because of your audience, your ICP, your market, or your niche, right? It's because you don't even have the fundamentals down. And in this video, I'm going to be breaking down all of the fundamentals that you need to pretty much put in place, and exactly how you need to put them in place too, so that you can finally scale. And they really are just these few infinity stones, right? Number one, we have conversion. Number two, we have building the right offer. Number three, we have scaling. Number four, we have the fulfillment aspect. Number five, we have scaling. And number six, and the most important one, is actually generating traffic. And I've broken all of this down on a massive Miro board, right? Not so that you need to do any guesswork. Every single step of the process of you actually scaling, if you're stuck under $25,000 per month, everything you need to do is broken down in this video. So take your notebook out, take your pen out, start taking notes, and start implementing this stuff. So let's start at the very beginning of every single funnel, which is the actual traffic, right? And there's two types of traffics that you need. Number one, we have the organic traffic. This is for when you're stuck under 5 figures per month. And once you have 5 figures per month, you're going to actually have to start scaling with ads. But obviously, just to kind of keep it as simple as possible, even if you're over 5 figures per month, you're still going to need the organic aspect. So let's start with the organic. And via organic, there's two main platforms that you should be utilizing. Number one, we have Instagram. And number two, we have YouTube. And let me just start with YouTube just to make it with Instagram, just to kind of build our way up. So this is just an example of one of my clients. His name is Talk with MQ Knox. And we're doing two main things. By the way, I'm not talking about the conversion aspect at all yet. All I'm talking about is getting views so that we can convert these people later down the line. There's two different things that you need to be doing to actually be getting the right traffic and getting the right ICP. Number one, we have stories, and number two, we have content. And with stories, obviously, we're going to be running story sequences. Like with this client, we've even gotten to the point where, we're doing 20, 30K per story sequence, right? It's absolutely insane. But let's just start, like, to even fuel these story sequences, we need to be posting lifestyle content. And it all comes down to you wanting to avoid this thing right here, which is detrimental for your coaching business. People thinking every time he's posting, he's trying to sell me something, right? We want to avoid this, because if they're thinking this, our story views are going to go down, right? And it's not going to make the other sequences work. And obviously, we want to make the story sequences work. We want to be printing 20, 30K every single time that we're posting. And by the way, I'm going to be breaking down exactly what that looks like inside of the conversion aspect, right? I'm going to be breaking that down inside in a second over here. But you need to watch everything up until that point. You can't just skip through the video, because stuff isn't going to make sense and you're not going to be able to scale to the point where you want to, right? So just keep watching. And then after that, we have content, right? And what I really like to do with a lot of these clients is reels, and more specifically kind of the Cardinal Mason style type of reels, not over edited, right? Really just raw, authentic content, giving them breakdowns, telling them what to do, showing your lifestyle. And ideally, you're doing it at least once per day. Anything under once per day, like, that's not really acceptable. Making these reels takes you about 5 to 15 minutes, right? It's really, really simple. And ideally, you're doing 1 to 3 per day. I wouldn't say over 3 per day, just because that isn't sustainable, but you just want to be at least doing 1 to 3 per day. And different types of lead magnets for each reel, right? For example, where they're like, DM me the word, I don't know, story, right? DM me the word story and I'll give you my story template. You want to be doing different types of call to actions, different types of lead magnets for every single video, and actually building up an email list, or building up a list of people inside of your DMs, which are appointments that you can retarget when we're launching up, which I'm going to talk about more in just a second, right? And this is all you need to be doing to get traffic on the Instagram side. A lot of people want to overcomplicate it. You really just don't need to overcomplicate it. And step number two is YouTube, right? This is one of the best platforms for you to be posting content on, just because of how long you can make your videos and how well you can nurture your viewers inside of those videos, right? So let's say every 10 videos you're posting, I don't want to, like with YouTube, like just depends how much effort you put into some videos. Like we have clients who are posting one video per day, which is absolutely insane, and they're just grinding, right? But realistically, you should be doing at least once per week, just because they take a lot of effort, and obviously, like you want to have a sustainable coaching business, right? Like the amount of time you're putting into content directly correlates to the amount of money that you're making, right? So just keep it realistic, stay at one per week. You can go all the way up to 3 per week. And out of every 10 video, oh, I just got out of my red marker. So out of every 3 videos that you're posting, this is just an example of a different client, just to kind of keep the theme going. So we have, out of every 10 videos, we want top of funnel content. That's going to be around 1 video. With top of funnel content, that's just people who, top of funnel content is for people just to get as many views as possible. This is more like broad content, right? And the middle of funnel content is you're taking the people who came in through the broad content and just educating them about your niche, right? And then bottom of funnel content, this is, by the way, going to be the majority, 7 videos out of every 10, is going to be the people who already know about your niche. They're educated on the niche and they want to learn something specific about the niche. Let's say this is one of our clients, he's in trading. We're just explaining exit liquidity, right? So it's really, really simple. And inside of the descriptions, I just took another one. This is for an e-com client that we have. You want to keep it really simple with the descriptions. Like here, if you want to learn more about supplement dropshipping and the reality of it, apply here to work with me one-on-one. And then we're pushing them to a landing page. And I'm going to be showing you this landing page in just a second. The second one is more of an opt-in, so free guide on how to start supplement dropshipping. Right here, getting the opt-ins, we're running email marketing, we're dialing these people. And then the third one is follow me on Instagram, where we can kind of retarget them later on with our story sequences. We can DM them. Obviously, our appointment setter is going to be outbounding people as well, where he's going to be messaging every single person that follows us, right? And for this specific strategy, like the guy, his account was kind of dead. So we built a new Instagram account and we're pushing everybody towards there, right? And this all goes towards a funnel where we can finally close them. But I'm going to be talking more about the funnel aspect in the conversion side. So it's really, really simple. And just following this framework, just following everything that I just broke down over here, should get you to at least 10K a month, right? And once you're at 10K a month, you don't want to go spend all your money. You want to reinvest it into ads, right? And running ads isn't really that complicated. A lot of people like to overcomplicate it. You don't need to overcomplicate it. So step number 1 with running ads is you need to build a research and a strategy development. So inside of this process, you just need to analyze your competitors, define your target audience, and plan these ads, right? After that, you need to create a funnel. So map the entire funnel out, create the landing pages, and set up the email sequences, right? If you guys want to pause the video, you guys can read through all of the steps that comes into each part of the process. After that, you need a creative development. So you need to script these ads out, script the VSLs, and that should give you everything that you need. And after this, you need to set up your campaign, right? So set up all of the tracking, set up your Facebook ad account, duplicate the tracking sheets, and the lead magnet creation. After that, you need to launch and optimize, right? So you're going to launch your campaign. You're going to be monitoring it on a daily and optimizing it as much as possible with a retargeting campaign as well. And then after that, you're going to want to report and scale it up. So weekly and monthly reports, scaling campaigns, and scaling campaigns. So that means increasing your budgets for winning ad sets and testing new audiences and new campaigns. And here you just want to be collecting setters and closers feedbacks and refining the offer. And here's what the timeline for that should look like. So in phase number 1, you just want to be testing, right? You want to be testing different angles. You want to be testing different creatives. You want to be testing ad copy. You want to be testing funnels, right? Phase number 2 is actually optimizing everything. So optimizing for more of what's already working. And then phase number 3 is scaling. So scaling accounts with winning creatives and testing new ones. And ideally, you want to start running ads once your offer is kind of proven. So you're already cash collecting around 10 to 20K a month so that you have the funds for the AdSense. And you're going to need around 3 to 5K per month to invest into ads for it actually to work. Right. And by the way, just kind of pausing the video, for everybody who is a coach or creator, whether you're an existing one or an aspiring one, you're going to be able to book a call with me. First link in the description, and we can go through your entire funnel and I can kind of point out where you're missing out and what you can improve to actually scale past 25K a month. Right. So let's keep going with the video. Now that you actually have all of the traffic that you need, we need to move on to the next step of the actual sales process. right? And in terms of the sales process, you really don't need to overcomplicate it, right? Number one, you're going to need an appointment setter. That's for sure. And he's going to be handling everybody who's inside of the DMs and following an exact appointment setting process, right? We build this out for all of our clients. There's different appointment setting frameworks for each client, but here's just an example of a pretty simple one to follow. So the first thing would be just initial message, right? Kind of getting them to respond, qualifying them, identifying the gap, transitioning into the sales call, proposing the sales call, and then them booking in, right? And after this, obviously the call is going to be booked and the closer is going to need to go through this process. And by the way, like the appointment setter is going to be doing this, but the closer kind of needs to be on top of each step. So the key points for getting people to actually just show up to these calls is limit how far your lead can schedule, right? So I'd say 2 to 4 days maximum in terms of availability, then sending automated texts and reminders, confirmation calls, texting and email 24 hours before the call, double dialing to avoid people who are on do not disturb, post-booking resources, so giving them VSLs, testimonials, and case studies, increasing personal touch points, for example, on WhatsApp group chats is a great strategy. We're going to dive into that in a second. And then having a fast response time in case of reschedule, right? Having an irresistible offer, which I'm going to be talking more about in a second, and as many touch points as possible after the lead books in, which is scientifically proven, right? So first, what does the setter and closer need to do? And then after that, we're going to move into what you can actually automate with Zapier. So setter and closer, step number one, after the lead books in after 1 to 4 days, the setter is going to create a WhatsApp group chat with the lead, right? And the client and closer, right? And by the way, the client doesn't need to, well, in this case, the client would be the creator, but the creator doesn't even need to be in the group chat. We can create a new WhatsApp business phone number where the appointment setter is going to have that phone number, right? And the setter has a WhatsApp business, right? Just like I said. So for example, Mo, who's one of our clients, is going to be second phone number, right? And it's going to allow them to have the one-on-one connection between lead and the client. Then step number two, client's going to send a message and check the document. Step number three, the closer is going to talk with the lead, and all of this is happening immediately, by the way. After that, step number four, setter sends a reminder for the call via WhatsApp and IG. That's happening 24 hours before. Step number five, the setter is doing the exact same thing, so just sending them a reminder, WhatsApp and IG, 1 hour before. And then step number six is setter sending them the link for the Google Meet or, the Zoom 5 minutes before, right? This is everything that gets done by the setter and closer. And then automatically, what we're automating with Zapier is step number one, immediately the step is going to redirect and confirm and just tell them to confirm it via their inbox, right? Step number two is mail confirmation, telling them to add it to their calendar. And again, like this is all happening immediately. Step number three, 24 hours before the call, there's going to be an email and SMS reminder. Step number four, 6 hours before the call, an email and SMS reminder. Step number five, 1 hour before the call, an email and SMS reminder with the call link, by the way. And then step number six, an email and SMS reminder 5 minutes before the call. And it's extremely important. Like, as you can see here, like we don't have like 12 different reminders, right? And that's extremely important because the prospect's kind of going to get pissed off once they realize that this guy's just spamming me. It's going to create more friction and they're not going to want to show up to the course. So it's important that you kind of limit them to 4 to 5 maximum, right? And once this pre-call process actually, goes through, the chances of the prospect not showing up to the call is extremely low, right? Which is going to, and then once they show up to the call, right, the closer is going to be talking to them. And it's extremely important that the prospect knows exactly what the offer is, right? Because a confused prospect will never buy. So we're always going to have a crystal clear pitch deck for the closer to use. And then once we're collecting fan base and once we're collecting the payment, we want to be using fan bases simply because like, let's say the prospect only has $400, right? So let's just write this down. But the offer is 4K, right? Let's just, obviously they can't afford the offer, but if they have a credit card, they can use Klarna via fan basis, and we're still going to get the full $4,000 upfront, which is obviously going to inject more cash into the offer and give us more money to scale with ads, which is why using fan basis is extremely important, and you can't do this with WAP, right? So I definitely would recommend fan basis. We're using it for all of our clients, and it's been working really well. Then after this, obviously, once they're closed, we're going to need to fulfill for them. And we need a really clear structure for fulfillment because we want to be avoiding refunds or chargebacks, which is why immediately on the sales call, they're going to be signing a contract right here. And essentially what the contract says is they can't get a refund or they can't charge back. And if you're, by the way, like for offers like this, you can just be like, or like in terms of like the risk reversal, you can be like, or I'll keep working with you for free. But if you still want to have the guaranteed inside of your offer, you pretty much just need to be like, yeah, if the client wants to claim a refund, they need to have, put 10 hours in per week, did everything that we told them to do, build XYZ landing page that sees it for an ecom offer, and they need to be able to prove all of this, then submit it to us if they actually want to get a refund. And we want to get it to the point where it's extremely hard for them to get a refund and it's all inside of the contract. So if they try and charge back, it's just not going to work, right? After that, we want a streamlined onboarding process to keep all of the momentum of the students, because obviously, like, the better student results, the more student results we can post, and the more students we're going to get in just because we have the undeniable proof. So let's say a call ends up closing and we collect the payment. Well, automatically, right, immediately, they're going to get the onboarding email plus a video explanation, plus they're going to be able to book in their first call with our creator. And then after the first call, they're going to get access to the community, the course, and the inner circle, depending on what you're selling. Right? And the manual actions are 3 hours before the call. You're just going to send them a message to confirm the call. The chances of them showing up to this call is going to be extremely high because, they just paid for it. And 1 to 2 days after the close, we're going to set everything up and schedule the second call. And the really important thing on this call is to set good expectations, right? You don't want to tell them like, yeah, after the first 30 days, you're going to be at 100K a month, because if they're not at 100K a month after 30 days, they're going to be extremely mad at you, right? So just important that you always set good expectations so you have happy students and, you're not dealing with them all day long. But obviously, if you want to even be getting these students into your offer, you need a good offer, right? So building a good offer really isn't that hard, especially initially when they're coming from organic. You just need 2 types of offers. And offer number 1 is the offer statement, and offer number 2 is the power offer. And the offer statement is just going to be the first phrase on your sales page. For example, for Charlie Morgan, we have agency owners, coaches, and consultants. You're 1 step away from learning how you can fill your pipeline with 30 to 100 qualified appointments every single month, guaranteed, right? It's not what you're saying inside of the videos. Like, if I was trying to sell you something in this video, I wouldn't be like, you're 1 step away from, whatever. It's kind of just what goes onto the landing page. And then we have the power offer, which is what you're actually saying inside of videos and what you're actually posting, right? And in terms of building the offer statement, it's fairly simple. You need a quantifiable end result, right? You need a time frame. By the way, this is all based on Alex Ramose's frameworks. You need a niche, and you need a risk reversal, and you need a unique mechanism. And at the end of everything, it should look like this. I help niche do goal or final result in time frame using unique mechanism without pain point and risk reversal, right? And an example of a power offer, kind of what you'd say in a video, would be, or even just post it up, right? I probably get 10 messages every day from people out of this Discord asking me XYZ. Because of this, I've spent the past 30 days writing and summarizing the exact 5-step process I've used to XYZ. I don't care if you're X, Y, or Z. This applies to everyone doing X, and I want you to take full advantage of this. And to be honest, I've been gatekeeping this from everyone else for the past 2 years. This is the exact thing I've read for the past 2 years before every X, every single one. This isn't going to be the average information you get from watching YouTube videos. I've seen people charge 10K for this exact principles, and over the next 5 days, I'm going to be emailing them to all of you. Here's how it works. Over the next 5 days, I'll send you 1 principle per day via email. You'll have the opportunity to read it through it, take notes, and instantly implement it into your trading strategy, right? Or, whatever you're selling. I'm giving you all inside of here early access, and I want every single one of you to take this opportunity seriously. And then we have the link here, join before it's too late. And obviously, this is kind of getting people into an email list, but then you also need to think, like, after these 5 days, right, kind of similar to the Iman Gadji events, obviously we're going to be selling them on something. So this is why this is still kind of the power offer, and all of this just goes to our offer, right? So once you have this mapped out, you really don't need to overcomplicate it, especially if you're running with an organic audience. And now you have most of the principles laid out. You're getting good traffic, you're able to fulfill for the traffic, your sales team is dialed, and you have a good offer. But now we need a funnel, right? We need an actual conversion mechanism. So step number 1 if you don't have a current info product running right now, or you want to relaunch your info product, you want to take this exact process right here. So this is just going to help you launch up whatever you're selling, right? As long as it's a high ticket info product, right? So before you're actually launching it up, you want to have the pre-launch, right? And then day one of the pre-launch, you're going to be posting an Instagram reel, right? Not only an Instagram reel though, you're going to be changing all of your YouTube descriptions, creating a Discord or school announcement, which would pretty much just be the power offer that I just ran through, and a story sequence, which would look something like this, right? Just to give you a good example of the story sequence, big announcement, I'm about to give you access to something I've spent the last 30 days writing and summarizing. I can't really post it here on Instagram because it's kind of personal. So far, I've only shared it with a couple close friends and family members. It's something I've been reminding myself before every trade for the past 2 years. Every single one. Without it, there's no way I would have come as close to making hundreds of thousands of dollars in profit through Forex trading. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm about to drop a link to a newsletter, and to be completely honest, I've been gatekeeping what I'm about to share in this newsletter for the past 2 years. Starting on the 19th of October, I'll be sending everyone subscribed one core principle per day to trade Forex profitably. And then the next story would just be the link. So really similar to the power offer that I just broke down. And all of this is going to our email list. And we're going to continue pushing this email list for 5 days. And every single day inside of the email list, we're going to be talking about one principle inside of our unique mechanism, right? And we're going to be doing this for 5 days, right? So let's say from day 2 to 5, you're going to be posting one daily story sequence, not story sequence, just daily posts. And at the end, so let's say 2 lifestyle posts and then 1 educational one with a call to action at the end to the actual email list, right? Then daily educational reels, daily educational emails inside of the email list, and then daily reminders to read the emails inside of the Discord or the school community or whatever you're running, right? And the email list is just going to be building up a bunch of hype, talking about the unique mechanism and just telling them that, this is the best thing ever or whatever. And then when you're actually launching it up, on day 1, you're going to be giving them the power offer, right? Which is literally what we just broke down just earlier. I'm pretty sure, yeah, it was over here. So the power offer, you're going to be just sending this directly to the email list, right? And we're also going to be posting an Instagram story, which is pretty much just going to be a story sequence, a Discord and school announcement, power offer announcements to just copy and pasting into that into there too. A YouTube video, which is going to be an undercover VSL, an Instagram power offer reel, and a dialer booking appointments. And this is all going to be going towards our funnel, which I'm going to be breaking down in just a second. And from day 2 to 4, there's going to be an Instagram story sequence, a Discord or school power offer announcement, Instagram power offer reel, and a dialer booking and appointments. And this is all going to be going towards our funnel, right? They're going to be going through the funnel, booking the sales call, and obviously getting converted from there. And from this first launch, you should have your first 5 figures, right? Depending on how big your audience is, like minimum 10K, right? And by the way, like we've had launches, they did 6 figures, right? But you'll be getting a minimum of 10K from this. And this is going to be reinvested into ads. But obviously you can't get a new info product every single week, which is why step number 2 would be building a sustainable info product. And you need to choose one of these funnels. And just depending on what your audience kind of looks like, you want to be either doing a webinar funnel, a VSL funnel, a DM funnel, an email funnel, a lead magnet funnel, or an opt-in, or Discord or school funnel, right? And this is all going to be going to a super simple funnel. Not super simple funnel, but this is all going like these funnels are going to be going through a super simple process, right? Which is literally what I just broke down. Let's say from YouTube, you're using the exact content strategy, which I broke down before. And with Instagram, you're using the exact content strategy that I broke down before as well, right? And these once they go through this funnel, you just need to make sure that the execution is correct. Because at the end of the day, like you can have the best funnel in the world, you can be getting all of these leads, but if you're not converting them the right way, like it's not going to help you at all. Which is why if you are interested in getting my help implementing all of these things that I'm talking about inside of this video, all of the things that I've used to generate my clients over 500K, and to actually scale my own offer to 35K per month, you can book a call with me, first link in the description, and I'll help you out. I guarantee that I'll leave you better than you started on that course. So let's say you have completely nothing, even if we don't end up working with each other, I'll still give you a full funnel audit and tell you exactly what the next steps that you need to take to actually scale up your coaching offer are.